All right. Says I'm live. If you guys can hear me, please let me know. We got about 60 waiting. I do appreciate you guys all being here. If you can do me a favor, if you're just not getting here, please leave a like on the stream. It does help me out, and I do appreciate it. I will pop the chat out, and we'll get this going. I lost the chat part. Okay, there we go. Hot start to the stream. Okay, pulling up the spreadsheet. Andre getting them loud and clear. I can always count on that. Hopefully we can make it through the stream today. Got two of them. And yeah, I have the Rota. So not feeling the best, but as long as you guys keep me entertained, we should be good to go for the day. Also, we filled the YouTube contest like an hour or a half hour before the stream started. So do appreciate that. If Bull is alive and well, I haven't heard from him in about an hour. He'll probably open up another contest if you guys want to get in on that. But I'll have to wait from whenever I hear from them. But yeah, let people roll in. Glad everyone's here today. What's up, Andy? Got my ranch man in the chat. Good morning, fellow DFSers. Yeah, let's do it. Road courses, not typically the most exciting tracks out there, but for DFS, they really haven't been that bad this year. Was able to grab a couple P1s, I think the past two road courses on Fanduel. So hopefully the good times continue. Like, yeah, very boring to watch. The passing is minimal, but they haven't been the absolute hardest to project. Obviously, there's a lot of chalk plays today. I think there's quite a few traps as well, which we will talk about. But I think there is a good chalk today, and I think there is bad chalk, and we'll kind of go through it. Lots of good tournament pivots. So I think this is a pretty fun slate for it being a road course. I'm not expecting it to be like last year at Indy, where it was like the Daytona 500 with that one curb, which was basically a launching pad. But I think overall it should be a pretty solid day today. And I don't know if anyone watched Xfinity, but we saw AJ Allmendinger won the race. Then it was like the three of the highest owned projected drivers for today were all doing very well in the Xfinity race. So I'm sure that definitely did not help ownership concerns for today. But I'll start reading the chat. What's up, Rick? Good morning, NASCAR family. Smash some likes, so it'll help keep the content going. Yeah, definitely goes a long way, Rick. I do appreciate it. What's up, Wayne? You the man. Back at you, Wayne. What's the strategy today? I am new to this. Only going to play GP 100K contest on DraftKings, about 1 to 10 lineups max. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, that's probably not the best way to go about it. So what is it, $15 to enter, and if you're going up to 10, that's $150. I think you'd be way better off playing a 3 max contest or something to where you can get the max amount of entries. Like, yes, you can get lucky and hit. I do think the strategy and stuff that we're going to talk about today should do you well, but I just think if you're only going to put 1 to 10 lineups in the big contest, it's kind of just like buying a lottery ticket, and it's probably not going to work out. So I'd recommend getting to either a single entry or a 3 max to give yourself a better position to win, because if you're going against people that have 150 lineups, they have the ability to play guys they don't really like. Like, let's say you don't like Reddick too much today, but they can still throw in 10% and hedge themselves when you don't have the ability to do that. So I think it's kind of a uphill battle if you were doing that. But if you're going to anyway, the core group I would build around, it would be Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson, and AJ Allmendinger today. Also like Alex Bowman quite a bit, but those are the drivers I'd be building around the most. They're going to be high owned, but it's for good reason. Steven says, Wayne, if you don't play the max number of lineups, you don't. Yeah, over the long run, it's not the greatest strategy to have, especially in a contest like that where the payout is so top heavy and you're going against multiple people, way more than multiple, but a lot of people that are going to have the max amount of entries. So it's a losing battle over the long run. Yes, you can get lucky here and there, but it's definitely not the best strategy in my opinion. What's up, Ryan? Says it's Ryan pronounced with one okay, I've been asking this for weeks, so I do appreciate you letting me know. I never knew how to say it. But yeah, what a race last week. Pocono was fun. Pocono is usually a pretty boring racetrack, but the next-gen cars put on a show at the higher speed intermediates, and obviously Pocono, you can't really call that intermediate, but the bigger tracks this year, next-gen cars been fun. And you could actually pass last week as well. Like, I think Eric Jones, he started just about dead last, and he ripped through the field. I mean, quite quickly. We saw Stenhouse move to the field quick. Like, it was a really fun race to watch. And obviously it sucked that Ross Chastain wrecked because I hurt a lot of my lineups. I had two out of 3 laps in the June bug, had Ross Chastain. I was doing very well. I still cashed with them. But man, he was in first place, so I don't even want to know what they look like beforehand. But yeah, fun race last weekend. Obviously lots of things happened. You had the 2 JGR cars disqualify at the end that hurt you over on FanDuel, but Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I'm looking forward to Pocono now, I guess, in the next gen car. My question for you is, who are the cash must plays today? I'm thinking Ross, Brad Keselowski, Spinhouse, and Dinger, then fill in the other two. Thinking Cindric and Suarez, Bowman and Elliott, or Blinny and Cindric. I think if you're playing cash games, I would not play Keselowski in cash games, and I'm probably not going to get the Suarez in cash either. Me personally, if I am building cash today, I think there's like 2 or 3 lineups that everyone's going to play, and just kind of try to figure out which one's the best of the 3. I have my personal opinion, but everyone's going to play Ross. Everyone's going to play Larson in cash. So you got your 2 guys up top. Everyone's probably playing Dinger, and everyone's going to play Bowman. That's 4 spots. Everyone's playing Stenhouse. Okay, well, we need 1 more spot. That's going to leave you with around $7,000. I think people are either going to go with Eric Jones there. Yes, starting in 35th, but he is slow. He's just absolutely awful today. He is super slow. He has been the past 2 road courses. I feel like he's one of the biggest traps on the slate. Like, yes, if he finishes top 25, that's not a bad day. But I'm going to have more personal exposure to guys like Busch and Michael McDowell, and even Brad Keselowski than I am Eric Jones in tournaments today. So if you want to play Jones in cash, you can go for it, but I kind of think Austin Dillon's the better play. He was pretty fast in practice, and starting a few spots higher up, it's not like you're really sacrificing that much place differential. So there's another lineup, but I don't want to just give away a bunch of lineups, but I think that's where most people go in cash today. It's kind of going to be a 1v1 or a 2v2 for the most part. But I can tell you right now, everyone's playing Ross, Larson, Bowman, and more than likely Dinger. Ross says, what about McDowell? I like McDowell a lot today. I mean, starting in P7, we've seen him do it multiple times at road courses this year where he just tends to run very well. Didn't really light it up in practice, but I like what I saw in qualifying. He's got an average finish of 8th at the road courses this year, average running position of 12th, a great driver rating, 3 top 15s, and 8th and 3rd the past 2 road courses. So I don't really see a reason not to like Michael McDowell. I love him as a pivot off of Eric Jones, and I feel better with Michael McDowell in my lineups than I do Eric Jones personally. And we've seen passing is tough, so that track position is definitely going to help him out. What's up, Luke? Just about to get us started on my 150 lines with FC. What rules will you be setting for today's race? I am not setting any rules personally today. I was thinking about some rules, but I just didn't really see any that I wanted to make. Like, the only thing I was considering is maybe just a max of one of the drivers starting in the top 3 or top 4. Because I feel like 2 won't be optimal. I think one of those guys can be. They'll probably have to win the race or finish second or lead a lot of laps and finish in the top 4 somehow. But I'm probably only going to get a max of one of those drivers up top. So I don't really want to roster Cindric and Christopher Bell together. I'd probably just end up picking one of those guys. But I don't personally have any settings today. And who's ready to crush it today? Hopefully me. Hopefully me. I'm looking forward to it. I think this is a really fun site today. The race might not be so entertaining, but hopefully for DFS it's not bad. And the boring races are typically the best ones for DFS anyway, because that means not a lot of stupid, unpredictable stuff happened. What's up, Rickster? Hello, race fam. Indy with the wrench. Yeah, he's always flexing that wrench, isn't he? Chandler says he's starting. Oh, yep. Yeah, I was a little late today. I apologize. Always got to be fashionably late. What's up, Bobby? Happy fun day, fellas. Yeah, hopefully it should be a fun one. Hope so, anyway. And I'll have Bob's Twitter rolling if we get any news, but I'm not really expecting anything today. Obviously, you're not going to have a competition caution. I don't expect anyone going to the rear, so again, we'll see, but I'll have that monitored. Or you guys can just let me know, as per usual. Let's see. Well, I just scrolled down a little bit and saw Bull to check DM. Okay, so I just got the go-ahead. Bull did open the second contest. If you guys were not able to join the first one, or if you just want to join the second one, I don't really care. Feel free to join that. We filled both last weekend, which was super impressive. So if we can do it again, that'd be absolutely awesome. Nothing much, Obi. Just trying to feel better. Hasn't been the greatest week. Hasn't been the greatest. Just from a feel-good standpoint, but we're getting there. What's up, James? Need to cut one from my pool. Suarez, Blaney, or Cindric. Who you got? If I had to cut one, like, I like all 3 of those drivers in tournaments, but I'd probably cut Cindric just because he's got the toughest path. Blaney and Cindric, I feel like a very similar plays today, but starting a few spots further back, I'd rather roll with Blaney there. And then obviously I love Daniel Suarez, and I wouldn't want to cut him from my pool. So Cynic would be the one that has to get axed there, unfortunately. Good morning, Joseph. Hopefully it's a good one for you. Luke says, are you playing anyone below Joey Hand? Gillen is the only one I'm considering, but don't feel great about it. Let me check his price point really quick. So Joey Hand is $5,700. No, I'm not playing anybody. Well, I haven't crunched yet, but in my head, I don't think I'm going to get to... I'm not getting to... Someone told me it's Fiat, whatever it is. I'm not playing him, so I don't really care. Gillen, yes, he qualified well. I muted that. Hopefully you couldn't hear me choking. Sorry. You're gonna have to bear with me today. It's not great right now. But anyway, as far as my simulation scores are concerned, I think the highest one that's getting propped up in sims below Joey Hand is going to be Blinny at 1.2%. You have Corey LaJoie under 1%, Josh Williams under 1%. Joey Hand's actually coming in at a 10.9% optimal rating, which is actually pretty good. So I like Joey Hand today, but outside of that, I'm not getting to anybody lower really with confidence at all. What's up, Luis? Hope you feel better. Appreciate it. I'm trying. Josh says, DK Cash thoughts. Chastain, Larson, Allmendinger, Bowman, Austin Dillon, Ty Dillon. I think that's pretty good, Josh. Personally, for me, I would roll with Stenhouse over Ty Dillon. I feel like the upside's quite similar as far as finishing position is concerned. And, I mean, Stenhouse is starting dead last, so we can't lose you any spots today. And, I mean, outside of him just running 34th all day, he should be a decent play. Like, I'm going to get away from him in tournaments for sure. But as far as cash games are concerned, I mean, just plug him in. He's going to gain some spots today. It might not be pretty, but he should get the job done for cash purposes. Brian says, hey, Chris, thanks for your time. Oh, thank you for your time, Brian. You guys don't have to be here, but you choose to, so I do appreciate that. Jared says, Blaney shirt, better go reconstruct my lineups. Yeah, I don't know. I just felt good about the Blaney shirt today. I think he's got a chance to win. Obviously not my favorite DFS play, but obviously he's got to come out and win a race here at some point. And he's had the speed of road courses, not quite track house speed, not quite like Chase Elliott, but he's definitely got top 5 potential. And if he's on the right strategy today, and it looked like he liked this car in practice and qualifying, so, I mean, it's certainly possible. I just kind of wore this as a fan today. Thank you, Obi. Appreciate it. AJ says, good morning. Who is a racer you've increased exposure to since your preview, Chris? So I haven't done my exposures yet, but I'm trying to think of what I talked about in the preview here. And I feel like I've maybe gotten a little bit higher on Truex, and that's not to say I'm trying to go overweight on him, but I feel like I made it sound like I absolutely hate him. And you know, the more I looked into it, I'm like, well, at $9,600 starting in 25th, he hasn't exactly been the worst Toyota at the road courses this year, and he was P7 in the final lap. Again, those numbers are a bit skewed, but at his price point, I think he might pop up a little bit more for me. I was looking at my sim scores, and he did show up 22.9% of the time, which is a little bit more than what I expected. So maybe it's a little bit higher on Truex than what I thought I was going to be, but I'm still going to end up being underweight compared to what I think he's going to be optimal for his ownership today. But just throwing it out there if I end up having a little bit more Truex than expected. And outside of that, I'm not really sure I changed my opinions too much. I'm trying to remember everything I said, but I think everything else is pretty much on par with what I've said so far. But that's a good question, because my opinions and thoughts do change sometimes overnight after I think about it. What's up, Joe? Good morning to you as well. Thank you for being here. Cameron says, good morning, Chris. Happy race day, everyone. Yeah, good morning, Cameron. Thank you for being here. Hopefully it's a good race day for us. Hopefully. Flights Demon says, thank you for great info. Well, you're welcome. I hope it's good info this weekend. Yeah, best of luck to you as well. Dave says, good morning, Chris. Could you talk strategy for today's race? Stack the back for PD. Choose drivers who I think finish in the top. Well, me personally, David, it's going to be a mixture of both. So, for example, like, yes, I like the PD drivers of Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson, but at the same time, I'm not enamored with jamming in a Martin Truex. I don't love jamming in an Eric Jones or Ricky Stenhouse with those guys. Like, I like in cash games, sure, that's okay. But if I'm playing tournaments, which I assume a lot of you are, I like Chastain, I like Larson, but I want to pair some of those guys up with guys like Daniel Suarez, with Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, Chris Buescher, Michael McDowell, some of these guys starting closer to the front that I think can finish well. Brad Keselowski also in the consideration there. So it's a mixture. I'm not going full stack to back or anything. Road courses have been very tough to pass on. The drivers that I'm playing that have PD upside, it's because they've been fast in road courses this year, fast in practice, and they just happen to have a bad qualifying session. Like guys like Chastain and Larson are a lot different than Eric Jones, who sucked in practice, and same with Ricky Stenhouse. If that makes sense. You're welcome, Russian bot. You're welcome. Chris says, which kind of lineup do you like better? Elliott, Chastain, Austin Dillon, and Stenhouse? Then either Cindric and Eric Jones or Dinger and Bowman. I would definitely get Dinger and Bowman, but personally for me, Chris, I would probably throw in Larson instead of Elliott for cash games. I mean, Larson's going to be much higher owned than Chase in cash, and I don't really feel comfortable getting away from the Larson ownership. Also, I just found out it's Kyle Larson's 30th birthday, so if we're looking for a narrative, that's about as good as it gets today. So I guess I'll up my Larson exposure, which was already very high. I guess I'll up it a little bit more with the birthday narrative there. Vinny Hurst says, Fanduel has Burton top 10 at plus 3,400, Gilland at plus 3,000 worth of sprinkle. I wouldn't personally do it. Like, yes, Gilland is starting inside the top 10, but obviously he doesn't have an elite pit crew. I don't think he's going to have the speed to be able to hang in the top 10, because you got to keep in mind, like, a lot of the drivers starting in front of him are pretty good and are probably going to be able to stick around the top 10. And then you have guys like Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson, they got to move through the field. You have Daniel Suarez. I was trying to find some other guys, AJ Allmendinger, Kevin Harvick. I'd have a pretty hard time seeing him hang on to that top 10. So while the odds are long, I don't think it's something I could do. See, my mom's here. Good morning. Mama is glad you're starting to feel better. Happy race to everyone. Let's get it, Legato, and good luck in NASCAR fans. Well, Joey is very cheap today. This might be the cheapest I've seen Joey maybe ever. I feel like one time at like a dirt race, or I don't know, he was like in the 7K range. But this is very cheap for Joey Logano. Hasn't exactly been great at the road courses this year, but it's worth a play at 8K. I'll definitely say that. Worth the play on both sides at his price point. Jesse says, does Blinny have legit winning potential today? Yeah, he definitely does. He was fast in practice. P3 in the 1 lap, P9 in the 5 lap. Has been pretty good at the road courses this year. Doesn't have a finish worse than 11th place. And obviously he's going to have to be on the winning strategy today, because yes, he's sitting quite nicely in points, and that's all good and great. But if we get some new winners, which is possible at a road course, then we have a super speedway coming up, and obviously anything can happen. He's got to win a race here at some point just to feel comfortable. So yeah, he's definitely going to try to come out and win today, and he's got the potential to do that for sure. Because Penske looked pretty good this weekend. What's up, John? He says, Chastain, Allmendinger, Reddick, Bell, Austin Dillon, Ty Dillon, okay for DK cash. I'm not saying Reddick's a bad play, but I am not playing him in cash games today. It's pretty risky. Like, yes, he's fast. He won the most recent road course. I don't think he's going to have a bad race today. But if you're playing cash, I mean, I just find the extra bucks for Kyle Larson, in my opinion. It's much safer. You don't need those lap lead points in cash games at all. Because if Reddick, I mean, if he finishes 6th and he leads 12 laps, that's not going to get the job done. And Kyle Larson starting in 22nd. I mean, I feel like they can finish pretty close to each other. So I'd feel a lot better with Kyle Larson there. A lot better. And then I'd probably move Ty Dillon to... and then I didn't even see... Yeah, I wouldn't play Bell. And yeah, Reddick and Bell, definitely not for cash. I wouldn't go Ty Dillon in cash either. But I like Chastain, Allmendinger, and Austin Dillon. Dave says, any Stenhouse and Gibbs left for GPP? Stenhouse, definitely not for GPP. And I'm not saying he's a bad play. It's just he's going to be high owned and... He's slow. He sucks at road courses so far this year. I think he finished 19th, though, at the most recent one, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 19th at Road America and 25th at Sonoma, 37th at Dakota. Like, he's starting dead last, only $6,100. Like, yes, he's a good play today, but I do like pivots of Justin Haley, Cole Custer at lower ownership. And as far as Ty Gibbs is concerned, I mean, it's his first Cup race in the next-gen car at a road course. And yes, he finished well last week, but he was pretty bad if you look at the loop data statistics. But he's very good at road courses, though. I will say that. I forget where he finished yesterday. He was kind of struggling, if I remember. I was just catching the end of the race. But he was P30 in the 1 lap in practice, P24 in the 5 lap. He's in a Toyota, which they've been awful at the road course this year, starting in 26. His odds went from plus 10,000 to open, then went down to plus 4,000 after practicing qualifying, went back up to plus 10,000. I don't really like Ty Gibbs today much. I'd rather get the Eric Jones than I would Ty Gibbs, I think. And I'm not the biggest Eric Jones fan at all today. I like him in general, but not today. See the lovely girlfriends here. Juliana, good morning. Happy pool day. Yes, happy pool day. Hopefully I can make it down there, but I'm not sure I'll have the time to do it. Maybe during the race. Obi says, single entry in cash game. Is there a question attached to that, or maybe just replying to somebody else? Might be missing something there. Bull says, can you tell Chris to check the DM? I got you, Bull. I got you. I see Grace. Oh, Tater Salad. What's up, Tater? Hopefully you didn't miss too much. I know you said you were in the line at Bojangles, which I don't know why you're eating Bojangles before 12 p.m., but I won't judge you. I don't know if they make breakfast. I've never been there. But thank you for being here, Potato. Do appreciate it. Avery says, what up, Chris? What's up, Avery? Would you play a single entry lineup with only one guy starting in the top 10? That's fine. I think that's probably a pretty strong way to go. If you're playing single entry. I know a lot of people probably won't even touch the top 20 in a single entry today. So, I mean, even getting one guy in there is fine. Justin says, top 2 tourney plays for DraftKings and for Fanduel. So on DK, I mean, probably my 2 favorite tournament plays are going to be Daniel Suarez and Chris Buescher today. I like the price point being up on Daniel Suarez because it should lower his ownership. But he's been the second fastest car at road courses this year. Sorry, I'm struggling today. And then Chris Buescher has been excellent at the road courses this season. Starting in 16th, he's a great pivot off of Alex Bowman and Eric Jones chalk. So I like him and Michael McDowell kind of in the same boat there. And as far as Fanduel is concerned, I have not yet crunched Fanduel. It's also like my secondary thoughts. So, I mean, just off the top of my head, it's probably going to be like Chris Buescher and Michael McDowell again over on Fanduel. But I have not yet crunched yet. And Brad Keselowski is another guy that's going to pop for me too. I would, but he won't look at his phone during live. Yeah, I never look. I see you got my text though. It says Bull said check your DM. So she tried, Bull. So she definitely tried. I look now though. Thank you, Ross. Appreciate it. Brian says, hey, Chris, what do you think about Legato finishing in the top 5? It's not something I would expect. Penske looked great this weekend. Legato didn't really show it in practice, but he obviously did great in qualifying. His crew chief did say they are trying something new this weekend, which is good because he's been awful with the road courses this year. But, I mean, starting in 5th, I think he can be a top 10 guy. He's got the track position to work with, but I don't really see him finishing inside the top 5. But his price on those websites do make him playable today as far as tournaments are concerned. Bull says, new YouTube DK contest is made. You guys are killing it. Fell before lock again. Yeah, absolutely killing it. I got to give a shout out to my man Bull for running that for me. Makes my life easier. Back in the day, I'd always just hand invite everybody. It was not a fun time at all. So, do appreciate you guys filling those up for me. And obviously, Bull for helping. Mom says a pool day sounds fun, even a beach day. Yeah. Sure does. Unfortunately, can't go to the beach because I got to watch the race and stuff, but at some point, definitely got to go. See, what's up, Spread? All right, so we got the new YouTube contest going. We got over 50 people already in there. So just under 100 spots left if you want to get in. If you're just not getting here, Spread did drop the link in chat, or you would have got the invite over in the league contest there, but I do appreciate you guys helping me out there. And also, what's up, my Wrenchman Spreader? Luke says, do you think we could see an Elliott, Chastain, Larson optimal today? It's kind of pushing it. I'm actually kind of curious to see what my highest projected lineup would be with those 3 locked in. So I'm going to pull up the optimizer here. So we're going to lock in Ross, lock in Larson, we're locking in Chase. Let's see what we got here. So no randomness, no rules. So the highest projected lineup, but with that, for me, obviously it's not going to be everyone's highest projected, but you have Elliott, Ross, Larson, Austin Dillon, Stenhouse, and Joey Hand. Not my favorite looking lineup, so that's got a projection of 231.47 for me. Meanwhile, if I just let this run without any locks, It's got a projection of my highest projected lineup would be 247.45. So you definitely lose a lot of projection there, but obviously projections are not absolute. So it's possible, but I don't think it's the most likely scenario, because Chase would have to lead. Obviously you'd have to win the race and lead laps to be optimal with Ross and Kyle Larson, which is a pretty tough task, I would say. So not something I would expect. Chandler says, what do you think about Harrison Burton? Showed a little bit of speed in practice, P17 in the 1 lap, P12 in the 5. The problem is he's starting 13th. I just really only see him falling back. Like, there's obviously guys I think can hang around the top 10, but I mean, you got to factor in some of these guys are going to move through the field at some point. So I'm not a huge fan of Harrison Burton there. I'd rather play Joey Hand starting 14 spots further back, who showed very similar speed in practice and is obviously pretty good at road courses. Joseph says, if I win today, I'm spending it all on tape. Like masking tape, duct tape? Is there a reason for that? Not sure why you need so much tape for, but hey, if it makes you happy, I'm here for it. Steven says, what's up, Chris? Hope all is well. Thank you, Steven. Going well today. Hopefully, same can be said for yourself. What's up, Matt? What's up, Chris? Love coming in 5th last week. Yeah, you've been here for a long time. It's always nice seeing familiar faces in the top 5 in the contest to get those shout-outs. Hope to get first this week. Thanks for the content. No problem at all. No problem at all. Make sure you join the new one if you haven't yet already, so you get 2 chances. I have noticed the second contest, the scores are usually a little bit lower. Dustin says, I've got Dinger, Bowman, Larson, Chastain, Austin, down in Stenhouse for cash on DK. Yeah, that's my favorite lineup today right now. It's my highest projected lineup, and that's the lineup I hand built for cash. So I think it leaves, what, 600 on the table. So if you have 600 on the table today, that's kind of the cash lineup I think looks the best today currently. Obviously, there's some variations. People will put in Eric Jones over Austin Dillon, or maybe people will swap out Allmendinger with William Byron, because that also fits if you go the Austin Dillon route. I think those are the 3 main lineups today. I personally prefer the one that Dustin just mentioned. Luke says, are you going to have any Bubba or full fade? Hate playing him on road courses. Yeah, so kind of the first thing I did was just like, I'm not playing Bubba today. I don't even think I had to put him, I don't think I had to X him out for him to even not pop up. He was P29 in the 1 lap in practice, P23 in the 5 lap. And I don't believe he has a finish better than 36th. Or yeah, 35th at a road course this year. 35th at Road America, 36th at Sonoma, and 38th at Coda. Yes, I realize he's had issues, but he just always seems to have issues at road courses. He's just not good at these. I feel perfectly fine having 0 Bubba Wallace today. If he's optimal, whatever. I will take the L, but I think the chances are that is not going to happen. And in my sim scores, he popped up in the optimal lineup 0.6% of the time. That tells you anything. And that's running 5,000 sims, and obviously you got to add in crash factors and a bunch of other things, and he still only popped up 0.6% of the time for me. So, yeah, I don't like Bubba today. Again, if he's optimal, whatever. I'll take the L, but I feel good about it. Let's see. See, Austin says, thought we were losing our talent right before our eyes. Yeah, it wasn't looking good there for a second, but I think we're good. Benjamin says, thoughts on Gibbs? Not a huge fan today. Like, yes, he's good at road courses. He's in basically a JGR car, but Toyota has not been good at the road courses. Starting in 26, he practiced around 30th place. I just think he struggles today. It seemed like he was struggling in the braking zones in practice yesterday, and obviously, I mean, he's 19 years old, and it's his first road course race on a next-gen car, so yeah, I don't really like Ty Gibbs today. He popped up optimal 7, about 8% of the time for me, which I think he's a little bit over 8% owned, so not really my favorite play out there. Milan says, Eric Jones or Ty Gibbs? That's a pretty good question. I think Eric Jones is going to project a little bit better for me, though. I currently have... Yeah, so I got Ty Gibbs slated at 26.2 points today. I got Eric Jones at 30.3, so I'm going to go with Eric Jones there. I mean, both look pretty slow, but I'll go with Jones starting a little bit further back because I feel like the upside at the end of the day is pretty similar. So my Heat fans in here, Brian, what is up? Says, go Chase. Yeah, Chase, it's kind of weird to say, but he might be a little bit forgotten about today, which is, again, it's a road course, so it's weird to say that. But when you have you know, mega chalk Ross Chastain and Kyle Larson there. I mean, you can't really just fit in Chase in addition to those guys quite easily. So if you're playing tournaments, I mean, you can get a lower owned Chase at a road course. This is better times to do it. But the thing is, though, you have to sacrifice a Ross or a Larson to make that work. Sarah says, good morning from Mississippi. Good morning, Sarah. Hopefully it's nice there in Mississippi. Not sure what the weather would be like, but it sounds humid. That's for sure. Bonnie says, today's Larson's birthday. It sure is. Birthday win? It's quite possible. We know he's good at road courses. He had the best car. Was it Coda? I keep getting Sonoma and Coda mixed up. I can't remember which race it was where he was really fast for stage one, but then he stayed out instead of taking the strategy he should have, and it kind of killed his race. Forget which one it was, but obviously he's good at road courses, and yeah, birthday, you got to bump up the projection a little bit for that. Chris says, I think cash comes down to Elliott or Larson. Well, I can tell you right now, everyone's going to play Kyle Larson over Elliott in cash games. And then Chastain, Dinger, Bowman, yeah, I pretty much agree with you there, but Larson's definitely going to be higher owned than Elliott cash. I mean, they have very similar upside, and he's starting, 12, 14 spots further back, whatever it is, my quick math. But yeah, Larson's definitely going to be higher owned than cash. Brushan says, how do you feel about Cole Custer today? So he's actually been kind of sneaky fast at the road courses this year, and he's got an 80 driver rating, which compared to a lot of these guys down here in the lower price points, it's really not that bad. A little bit better than Austin Dillon. The running position's at 13.9, so I don't think Custer is necessarily a bad play. I wish he was a little bit faster in practice, though. It was a P27 in the 1 lap, P22 in the 5 lap, but I don't hate him as a pivot off of a guy like a Stenhouse. But I do prefer Austin Dillon, and I like Justin Haley a tad more. Andre says, thoughts on Haley or Custer in cash instead of Ricky? I wouldn't do it in cash. Again, I'm not trying to be the smartest guy in the room in cash games, so I'll just eat the chalk with Ricky Stenhouse. But in tournaments, I do like getting to Justin Haley a little bit more than I do Ricky Stenhouse, and Cole Custer's in play too. But for cash purposes, I'll just eat that chalk on Ricky. I would rather get off of the Eric Jones chalk in cash than I would the Ricky Stenhouse personally, just because he's $1,000 cheaper and starts a few spots further back. What's up, Bradley? Says, hope everyone is good. We're getting there. And good luck to all. I love road courses, always have. I know they're not the sexiest of races, but it puts it in the driver's hands, and I will probably have over 1,300 on the table. Can't disagree with your points. They're definitely not fun to watch, but I mean, they have their own. Yeah, you can have your own appreciation for road courses for what they are, if that makes any sense. Bradley says Larson still looks 12 and probably weighs 115 pounds. Yeah, he is a pretty small guy, that is for sure. But yeah, leaving money on the tables has not been a necessarily bad thing to do with the road courses this year. I'm pulling up the optimal lineups. So at Coda, we left $1,000 on the table at Coda. Where's the other one at? Sonoma, we left $3,900 on the table there. And then at Road America, we left $1,400 on the table. So yeah, leaving money has not been a bad thing to do with the road courses this year. Appreciate it, Ryan. No problem at all. You guys make it fun for me. Says, go Blinny, go Suarez. Also, thoughts on Harvick being optimal today? Yeah, I like Kevin Harvick quite a bit. I mean, he's not going to be as high owned as Allmendinger. And he's kind of in that weird spot where I'm not sure a ton of people are going to go with Harvick because you're already going to be jamming guys like William Byron. You probably loaded up on Chastain and Larson up top, so I'm not sure exactly how easy it's going to be to fit in a Kevin Harvick in addition to guys like Allmendinger and Bowman. So if he's going to go a little bit overlooked, I mean, he's been pretty good at the road courses this year. Was top 15 in practice, top 10 in the 5 lap. I don't think he's a bad term to play at all. Daniel says, do I like Chase Briscoe? Not very much. Like, yes, he's a good road course racer, but was P13 in practice. I like the track position that he's going to have, but at nearly $9,000, I can't really pull the trigger on him too much. I'll check my sim scores. Popped up in the optimal around 14.5% of the time. So not like a full fade or anything, but not someone I really want to go on my way to play a bunch of. Jesus says, how much is too much Ross and Larson on a single entry? Kind of a confusing question for me, just because, if it's a single entry, you can only... Sorry, something. If it's a single entry, you can only do one lineup, so having too much would just be putting one guy in. But, I mean, to kind of rework the question there, I would say you can 100% play Ross and Larson in the same lineup in a single entry today. I have no problem at all with that. And that's the route I would go personally. Max says, hey Chris, for a single entry GPP, would mixing in more lower owned guys up top and fading some chalk PD be too risky? Seems this week there are so many good PD plays. Thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. I think that's fine for a GPP because you got to find ways to get different. Because if you're just playing the cash lineup in a single entry, yeah, it can do well, but you're probably not going to be unique enough to be able to take it down. So I would say, yeah, mixing in some lower owned guys up top and then fading some of the chalk. So instead of playing Eric Jones, pivot to a guy like Michael McDowell. Instead of playing a Bowman, pivot to a guy like Chris Buescher, if that makes sense. You can still play chalk, but make sure you get off a few of those guys for some lower owned plays. Because I love the chalk up top with Chastain and Larson. I think that's a good chalk. But then, the guys like Bowman, Jones, and Stenhouse, those are guys you can certainly pivot off of. Brian says, I think Cindric is going to do what Dinger did yesterday. He was practice 1 and qualifying 2. Too much starting position risk? It's certainly possible. I mean, Cindric was obviously very fast in practice. He put up the best lap in the practice session on Saturday. Starting in second, time for the best odds to win this race, at least last time I looked. $9,100, obviously a great road course racer. One of the 3 drivers to finish in the top 10 each and every single road course race. He's fine in play. It's just, obviously there's a lot of risk there, but if you're playing Cindric, I'm probably not playing anybody else inside the top 4, top 5. But he's playable in tournaments. Sue says, how much hand are you playing, Chris? I'm probably going to get to like 10 to 15% hand today. I think that's probably a good range to be in. Won't be as much over on Fanduel just because you don't really need those scrubs over on Fanduel. Like on Fanduel, you have Kevin Harvick at $7,500, I believe, which if you kind of translate that to DraftKings, it's like $6,000. At least it feels like it. So, I mean, you don't really have to go that cheap. Hand pops in the optimal on Fanduel for me less than 1% of the time, but on DraftKings he's a better play over there. I see Amanda's here. What's up? Hopefully you're having a great day over in North Florida today, or the Panhandle. Same thing. Russian says, how much money are you leaving on the table? Well, I got a lot of lineups today, so it's kind of all over the place, but I mean, I think any amount's fine today as long as you have a solid looking lineup. Like, don't leave 10,000 on the table and completely stack all these scrub drivers in the bag. But if you want to leave 1,000 or 2 on the table, I think that's fine. Boldy says Almirola and where to the rear? Is Almirola really going to the rear? Let me check. I believe you. I just want to see what Bob said about it. Maybe oh yeah, here we go. 17 minutes ago, Ware team made repairs to his car and Almirola had an engine change, so both go to the rear. Yeah, I think that kind of hurts Almirola a little bit. Obviously, Ware doesn't make a difference because he's already back there anyway. But Almirola had some track position to work with today, and he was also kind of fast in practice. So him going to the rear definitely hurts him quite a bit, I think, because obviously practice or road courses have been pretty tough to pass on so far this year. So I do think that hurts Almirola a little bit for sure. I wasn't really on him anyway, but yeah, going from P14 to starting, deep in the 30s is definitely going to be tough to overcome. So do appreciate the news drop there, Baldy. Alicia says, any chance you fade Chastain? No, I can't do that. He's been the fastest car at road courses this year. He was top 5 in practice, starting in the 20s, finishing the top 7 each and every single road course this year. I feel pretty comfortable with Ross Chastain. He's been very good. Outside of him wrecking or some major issues on pit road or something, which obviously he's had arguably the best pit crew so far this year as far as just getting in and out. So I don't see a reason to not like Ross today. I think there's worse chalk you can fade today for sure. Got a donut from a man Tito. I didn't miss it this time. Says, what's up, Daddy? No, just knowing a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad. But anyway, that's good. That was beautiful. Did you Google that? It was really good though. I like it a lot. It's got to be one of my favorite $5 donuts ever, I think. But yes, Tito likes Joey a lot today. I can't say I totally agree, but got to give a shout out to Tito. We had multiple wins on Warzone last night. with me, Jules, and his friends. So it was a good time. Do appreciate the dono, Tito. Let's see. Sorry, I got a dono from a man. Let's find out. From a man, John. Do appreciate it. GOAT of NASCAR DFS. Who wins this race? And who is your favorite low to, I'm assuming mid, cost play on Fanduel? Thanks for always being there. No problem at all, John. Thank you for the dono. Pick to win today. It's tough. I think Chastain at plus 1,000 is a decent bet. Like, yes, he's starting mid pack, but he's still going to be fast, and he should be there by the end of the race. And someone asked him a question about point racing, and he said, "I'm only here to win." Kyle Larson, it's his birthday. Both guys are at plus 1,000 odds. I don't hate those two bets there. Because, I mean, yes, I could tell you Reddick, I could tell you Chase, but the odds aren't, I see, as favorable. So I don't mind taking some shots at Chastain and Larson there. Also, McDowell might be a little sneaky there too. But do appreciate the dono, John. I was looking at the next question. Next question actually is from John again. Good morning, Chris. Who is a good place differential play? GP on Fanduel. Oh, and I forgot to answer your on Fanduel, mid to low. Probably Chris Busch or Michael McDowell over on Fanduel as far as the tournament play goes at the price point. Good place differential play GPP on Fanduel. I guess I probably just answered that question. So yeah, it's like Chris Buescher for me at P16. But yeah, hopefully we'll enjoy the Sunday. Hopefully you do as well. And it says like, comment, and share, y'all. Yeah, every little bit does help me quite a bit. Goes a long way in the YouTube algo, so I do appreciate that. Fastman says nobody's talking about Kyle Busch. What are your thoughts? Yeah, it's just Toyota and JGR has been awful at the road courses this year. Like, I don't think Busch has finished better than 28th at the three of them. Yeah, 29th at Road America, 30th at Sonoma, 20th at Coda. Was P10 in practice, but I don't see him winning though. And the problem is, I mean, $9,800 is he going to outscore Ross? Is he going to outscore Larson? Is he going to outscore Chase Elliott? I don't think so. I'd rather play Reddick than I would Kyle Busch. It's just Toyota's been bad. I faded the Toyotas that once we saw the first road course race where Toyota sucked, I learned my lesson there because I was pretty heavy on them. Ever since then, I really just haven't played a Toyota the past two road course races. And outside of Christopher Bell today, I don't really want to get to much of them at all. Bob says Suarez or Blinny. I'll go with Daniel Suarez there. Obviously, I'm a Blinny fan, but you can't ignore the speed that Suarez has at road courses this year. He's also P2 in the one that in practice, second in green flag speed this year, and starting 5 spots further back. Kyle says, hey, what's up, Kyle? Aaron says, I feel like everyone is overlooking Ty Dillon, and he should be low owned. Should be a nice value play at cheap price. Yeah, Ty Dillon's definitely not getting a ton of love. It's basically because you have Stenhouse right there. And I mean, he's a little bit faster than Stenhouse in practice. And finish-wise, I mean, Ty Dillon hasn't been that bad. So I don't mind him as a pivot down low. Don't mind that. Obi says, who are the trap plays, Chris? Well, I think Eric Jones is probably our number one candidate being a trap play today. P35 on the one lap in practice. He might struggle to get a top 28 today. We'll see what happens. I assume he's going to make some adjustments and maybe be a little bit better than that. But he looked pretty bad, and he was pretty bad the past couple of road courses. So I think Eric Jones is your first candidate being a trap. Ricky Stenhouse could be a potential trap play. He was in the 30s in practice. And, I mean, those are like the two guys that really stand out to me as potential trap plays. You could maybe throw in Bowman there, but I hate to do that because he's actually ran quite well at the road courses. This didn't really show me much in practice, but he's just too cheap, in my opinion. Check says, didn't you say you had COVID? Yeah, I do right now. And so if I sound a little funny, if I keep coughing like that, that's why. We're struggling a little bit, but we're all right. Jesus says, on a 3 max, do you go Showman, Larson, Ross, Jones, and Stenhouse? So in my 3 max, personally, I'm going to get away from Jones. I'm still playing other chalk, but he's going to be the one guy I try to get away from. I really like that 7K range and upper 6K range a lot. So you have Keselowski, Austin Dillon, Michael McDowell, Busch, or Bowman. So I'm just going to try to get away from a little bit of Eric Jones there. Again, you can play him in cash if you want, but I am worried about the speed today. Everyone else looks good, though. Kyle says, I'm quitting DraftKings. I can't win. Well, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Jared says favorite GPPs 6,900 and below. I like Keselowski a lot in tournaments today. No one's really asked me about him besides one question, but he showed me a lot of speed, and he's got top 10 upside at a road course. So I like Keselowski a lot in tournaments. I like Justin Haley as a pivot starting in P17. He was 9th in practice. That's probably my 2 favorite there. Obi says don't give up. Albert says I got Chastain, Reddick, Dinger, Stenhouse, and Hand so far in cash. Looking at Cindric or Briscoe to if it's cash, I wouldn't personally go that route. I'm not saying Reddick or Hand's a bad play necessarily, but if you're going Reddick and Cindric and Reddick and Briscoe and cash, I don't think that's the right way to go about it today. I think you're gonna need the combination of Chastain and Larson up top, because if Reddick leads stage 1, that's fine, but that's 15 laps, and there's no guarantee he leads those 15 laps. There's no guarantee he ever gets the lead back after that, after pit stops and anything. So I would start with Chastain and Larson, and then I'm just picking off PD plays for the most part, like Dinger, Bowman, Austin Dillon, Stenhouse, those kind of guys for cash games. It's more of like a tournament approach of what you had, and I think that'd be very, very risky for cash games. Oh my gosh, it's the biggest dono I've ever gotten. Appreciate it, Heat. Thank you very much. He's been like in my Discord for like ever, so I do appreciate that. Thanks for the help with NASCAR. Get the entertainment center, the one you. Oh my gosh, thank you very much. We were talking about that in on Discord. I'm talking. It's my TV sitting on the floor still because I'm too lazy to get a TV stand. So appreciate it, Heat. You just paid for it, so thank you very much. Hopefully the good times keep rolling. I know you've been on a heater recently on DraftKings, so appreciate the dono. It's awesome. Appreciate it very much. Eric says CPAN the gut. Appreciate it, Eric. You are as well, though. Also in the Discord all the time. Always a good time in there. Big Gritter says, how much Kurt do you have? I think I'd rather play Kurt today than I would like Eric Jones, it seems like. But no, please don't play Kurt Busch today. He's not going to get you points. Not going to get you points. Sorry. Heat threw me off. In a good way, though. In a good way. Got a donut from a man, RaceFan22 here. Sorry, I didn't see it. It just popped up for me. Who were your top 2 DK plays of the day? Thank you. Sorry, I don't know why it didn't show up, but top 2 for me, it's probably Chastain and Dinger. Probably my 2 favorite there. Those are the 2 highest guys in the sim scores as well. So those are my 2 favorite right now. But I do appreciate the dono. Thank you very much, RaceFan. Hopefully I already answered that question, John. I know you got the dono there, so. Yeah, I do think a guy like Chastain and Larson could win the race today. Obviously, got the work cut out for him, starting mid-pack, but I like the odds. You get a little discount there. Barry says, punt Joey Hand or Kvyat. Again, I'm not totally sure, but I'd definitely go with Joey Hand. He's got more speed, top 20 speed. Kvyat, again, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but he's basically in a lawnmower this weekend. He's in the 26 car, which it's a Toyota, and they obviously haven't been that great. So P37, the 1 lap in practice, I can't see him working out, really. L.A. Dushan says, is it good to play multiple racers in the top 10 when they're 8K or more? This is my first NASCAR slate, showing 86% Truex. Oh my gosh. I would not play 86% Truex today. But it's going to depend each and every single week. Like, it's not like basketball where you're always in the same environment where it's a basketball court with 2 hoops on each side. Every single NASCAR track is different, so you got to play it differently. There's a different amount of laps. Different guys are better at certain track types and things like that. Road courses, there's not many dominant points because there's only 82 laps this weekend, so it puts less of an emphasis on some of these drivers starting up front that can rack up lap lead points. Like if this was a 300 lap race, Reddick on the pole would be a lot more appealing because we'd have like 200 dominator points. Not really the case today. We only have 56.7. So it's basically a finishing position type race today with some place differential mixed in. So like a track like this, Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson, they got top 5 upside, and they're also starting mid-pack, so you have that place differential upside, so they mesh well. making them great plays today. And then you got to look at practice and who's been good at certain track types. There's a lot of strategy to talk about, so I can't really tell you everything. But at a road course, getting a couple guys in the top 10 is fine. Passing has been tough today, so hopefully that it's like a very small crash course on NASCAR DFS. But I would not play 86% Truex. The Toyotas have not been at great road courses this year. MC says, who else on the roster is a solid no? What roster? I'm trying to see if you asked me a question. I can't remember. Do you mean like on the slate? I'm not. Okay, I can tell you guys I'm not playing today for certain. I'm obviously not playing any of those scrubs. I'm not playing Bubba. I'm not playing Busch. I'm not playing Hamlin. Don't really like Gilland at all. Those are guys I'm just really not playing at all. I mean, Almirola was popping in 13% of the time is optimal. Him going to the rear, I would say that drops him. Josh says, thanks for toughing it out today, Chris. No problem at all. No problem at all. Hope you get well soon and win some money. Yeah, hopefully. That definitely makes you feel better. Hopefully you win some money as well. Luke E says, hey, Chris, just for fun, can you predict the top 10 finish? Okay. Don't hold me to this, but this is just what my projections have it as the top 10 finishers today. So let's see. I have it as Reddick, Elliott, Cindric, Blaney, Suarez, Briscoe, Bell, Chastain, Larson, McDowell. Top 10 there. So again, it's just projections, and the way my projections are, they're very conservative, and it takes in a lot of. So I projected to win, but that doesn't mean I have projected to like a 1 as far as projections are concerned. It's a 7.34. I talk about this, but I just want to let you guys know, like, I'm not projecting to finish first. Like, the best finish I have anybody for is a 7th place finish. And there's multiple things factored into that. Let's see, where are we at? Jesus says, how is this on GPPs? Chase, Ross, Larson. Wow, surprised you can fit those 3 guys in. Dinger, Hand, Josh Williams. I personally would not play Josh Williams today. He's also in a lawnmower. I pulled up his practice. He was dead last in practice. P38, driving BJ McLeod's car, 78. It's not going to be fast. I would not expect really anything from Josh Williams today. David says, can you talk ownership? I've been kind of hinting at it throughout the show. If you have a specific question about it, I'll be happy to answer. I can't give away too much, though, because I have the ownership projections over on the optimizer. But if you have a specific question about ownership, I can kind of steer you in the right direction, for sure. But I think we all know who the Mega Chalk's going to be. So I'll be happy to answer a question you have, though. Kilo says, Austin Dillon or McDowell for DK Cash. I would go with Dillon and Cash. If it's a tournament, I would go with McDowell, though. But I think Austin Dillon's a pretty good play today. Boss Hog says, good morning, boss. What's up, boss? Back at you. Allmendinger top 5 finish today. It's possible. It's possible. I mean, obviously, I did well yesterday. Won the most recent race at the Indy Road Course. Top 5, a little tough. I mean, you have some really good Cup drivers that are good at road courses, but it's certainly possible. I wouldn't count them out. Jet says, outside of Bubba and the cheap drivers, who else are you low owned or fading? I'm so behind in the chat, so I probably answered that already for you, but yeah, I have barely any. I'm not going to probably have any Almirola now going to the rear. And then some of the Toyotas outside of Bell, I'm going to be pretty low on for sure. Luke says, what do you have Stenhouse ownership at? I only have 10% of him right now. At 150, I feel pretty good about it. Do you mean the field's ownership or my personal exposures? The field I have coming in around 30% ownership today. Personal exposures, again, I have not yet crunched, but my sim scores had him coming in around 22, 23%. So according to these, I should be underweight, and I probably will be. I like Stenhouse more than Jones, though, once you factor in the price point, and it's pretty easy path for Stenhouse today. I don't want to say he's my favorite player or anything, but I think the path for him to be optimal is a little bit easier than Eric Jones today, for sure. Kenny says, another road course, geez. Yeah, it's our 4th one of the season. What do we have, 6 or 7? I know we had 7 last year. I don't remember how many we have this season. I think it's 6, though. But Got a donut from a man spread. Appreciate it. I'm trying to buy Blinny a win. Didn't know who else to give the money to. I'll take it. I got the Blinny shirt on, so maybe it kind of works that way. Not totally sure, but appreciate the dono spread. I would tell people about your amazing record on betting balls and strikes, but I don't want to encourage these people to bet on the stupidest thing in the DraftKings sportsbook. But it spreads a wild man on that. I'll refrain from telling the story though. But he is undefeated. Benium says, is not rostering anyone in the top 4 a bad idea? It depends what contest you're in. I think if you're playing like 150 lineups, I'd try to get some exposure to the top 4. But if you're doing a single entry, I don't think you have to have those guys. I mean, yes, Cindric and Bell look pretty appealing, and obviously Reddick has the upside to win, but I mean, they're definitely riskier plays at a road course. Inter says Harvick is live. Yeah, I like Harvick today. I think Harvick's pretty good. $84 starting at 18th. Fanduel, I mean, he's basically a free play at $7,500. I'm not sure why he's that cheap. It's not like he was awful in practice, and he just tends to qualify always around like 18th to 24th, it seems like, each and every single week. But he's been getting the job done at road courses. I have no idea what Kyle said, but the messages are deleted, so I'm not totally sure what happened there. Let's see. Luke says, is 4 drivers have the top 20 too much? No, let's think about it here. So I think you could play Chase today. I'm trying to think of a lineup. So if you went Chase, you went Busher, you went McDowell, it's 3. You went Harvick. Yeah, I think you can play that. Like if you had a lineup of Chase, Harvick, Busher, and McDowell, I wouldn't have a problem with that. So that's fine. Good morning, Carmi. Waking up late. Good night on UFC. I'm glad you did well. I don't watch UFC, but people in my Discord do. I'm always feeling left out on UFC nights. But I'm glad you did well. Mark says, good idea to fade Stenhouse, Jones, Truex, and Bowman and GPP 20 max since all these cars were garbage in practice. I'm still going to play Bowman. I mean, he's been solid at the road courses this year, so I don't think he's going to be absolute trash, especially in a Hendrick car. But if you want to be underweight on Stenhouse, Jones, and Truex, I'm all for that. But I think Bowman's the one guy I'd be willing to get to a chunk of still there. But the other 3 I can agree on. Donut from man Clint. A lot of donuts today. Do appreciate it, guys. So sorry I'm late. Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. Long night watching my UFC losses in person. Oh, were you there? That sounds fun. Gonna get it back today. Let's do it. Thanks, C-Pen. High spread, go Harvick. Yeah, I'm with you today, Clint. I like Harvick in tournaments. He's a solid play today for sure. Hopefully you have some better luck today. Andre says, yeah, I'm really behind if I'm just now seeing Tito's dono. But yeah, that's a beautiful quote. Knowledge is knowing a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad. I like that a lot. Because that'd be awful in fruit salad. Yeah, sorry, Race. It did not show up, your super chat. I apologize. I don't know why it didn't. I saw it at some point. I saw it after, but it didn't give me the notification on there for some reason. I'm not sure. Manny says ketchup on eggs. Oh, I can't do that. I like my eggs just with some salt and pepper and olive oil. I can't do the ketchup. Doesn't sound great to me. Maybe hot sauce, but outside of that, I couldn't. I apologize, Rice. Hopefully you saw me answer your super chat, but it didn't. It just didn't show up. I'm not sure why. Manny says, who were the top 2 DK plays of the day? I mean, Chastain and Larson are. I mean, those are the easy answers there. If you don't want me to say the 2 most expensive guys, it's probably Chastain and Dinger. Probably, but those are definitely the top 2 guys. Sean says, single entry GPP, Larson, Chastain, Blaney, Keselowski, Haley, and Austin Dillon. Thoughts? Love Larson, love Chastain, I like Blaney. Like Keselowski. Yeah, it's good. It's pretty good for tournaments. I like it. You got a nice mixture, some chalk guys, you got some pivots in there. Still got some PD. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good lineup, Sean. I like it a lot. Yeah. Oh, I got you, Andy. Yeah, if we were spamming, can't have spam, so I do appreciate taking care of that. Yeah, it takes me a while to get to the questions. There's so many of them, but I want to make sure everyone gets their question answered, so I just go in order and just Try to wait your turn. I try my best to get to them. I get to them all, though. Just takes a little bit of time. So just be patient. We'll get there. Carmi says, what you think about the 3 car this week? I like him. I mean, at the road courses, the past couple of seasons, he used to be maybe not the worst road course racer, but he definitely was awful. But he's been really good at them recently. 12th in the 1 lap in practice, 10th in the 5 lap. Had an incident in the last race at Road America. I forget what lap it was, but it was close to the end, and then he just pulled off the track because he didn't want to ruin Tyler Reddick's race to win the race. Because they're teammates, obviously. And I see your dono. I believe Manny. Let me just finish this thought quick. I forget what I was saying. I forget. Austin Dillon. Yeah, if you're looking at the past 10 races at road courses for Dillon, he's got in the top 15, 7 out of the past 10 races. So he's been very solid at them. So I can definitely get behind Austin Dillon today. Anyway, let me get to this dono here. Do appreciate it, Manny. Thanks for all your efforts. Yeah, no problem. Thank you for being here. You guys make it fun for me. You guys make it fun. Only reason I'm here. Bonnie says, thoughts on Truex? He's one of those guys that I could see being a potential trap. Yes, he finished 7th at Coda. He finished 13th at Road America. But, I mean, just speed-wise, he has not been that great. Looking at the green flag speed cheat sheet here, Truex is on par with guys. Like, in green flag speed, he is 17th at the road courses this year. That's behind guys like Hamlin, Briscoe, McDowell, Harvick, Byron, Dinger, Custer. Like, it's a pretty long list. Like, for where he's starting his price point today on both sides, it makes him more playable than what I kind of thought early on. But even then, I'm still going to be underway. Like, if I think he's going to be close to 30% owned today, I'm probably only getting to 15-20% of Truex, maybe less. We'll have to see how my crunches work out. But I'd much rather be overexposed to Chastain and Larson, guys that have legit speed at road courses this year. Would I stack any teams? Not purposely going on my way to stack a team today. I mean, Hendrick, I've been kind of finding myself stacking Hendrick, not really on purpose, but they're just all kind of good plays today. Like Chase, I like. Larson, I like. Bowman, Byron, they all kind of fit nicely together because Byron and Bowman are a bit cheap. So maybe I stack Hendrick, but I'm not really going my way to do it. I guess I could see myself stacking Trackhouse together, Chastain and Suarez, because if one has speed, obviously the other one's going to have speed more than likely. So, but I'm not really going my way to do it. Mad Dog says, who do you like today, Chris? A lot of guys. Do you mean for just DFS? Who's going to win? I mean, I like the Trackhouse cars a lot today, and I like Hendrick quite a bit. So, definitely 2 teams I'm looking to target. John says I'm like 103. Yeah, we're already over 100 likes. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. If you're just not getting here, you haven't yet done so, just dropping a like. Something small does help me out quite a bit. And then he says, COVID picks, good day for a win. Yeah, hopefully. I'm not sure if this makes me better at this or not. We'll find out, I guess. Amanda says she's got COVID too. Well, I guess we're in this together, unfortunately. Yeah, just found out 2 days ago, I think. I mean, I'm not like, I don't feel gross. I could still do whatever I want, I guess, right now, physically, but it's just annoying to have. Ryan says projection for best finishing position out of these 3, Suarez, Briscoe, and Dinger. It's got to be close between Suarez and Briscoe. Let me check. I have Suarez right above Briscoe there, so that's fine. It's Suarez, Briscoe, Dinger, as far as the projected is. I see we got 320 in here, so thank you guys for being here with me on a Sunday afternoon. John says, do you think Almirola has any chance to win this race? I would say before going to the rear, he had a slim chance, but going to the rear, it's going to be pretty tough to overcome. I would say no. There. Blake says, quick question regarding single entry. Do you usually just enter a cash lineup for these? Sometimes I do, but I've been trying to get better at not playing chalk in single entry and 3max. So I would try to find a pivot or two, Blake, just so I'm not tying with everybody and try to get a little unique. Tedo says, better finish Gilland or Burton? I think I have Gilland projected higher. Yeah, I actually have them right next to each other. So as back-to-back questions for projected finish, there are 2 guys right there. I got Gilland in 20th and Burton in like 21 decimal numbers. So that's what I got those two at. Mo Green says, question, was Bowman practice good enough to get him in the top 15? Practice was not great for Bowman, but the way he's running road courses this year and really just the past few seasons, I think it's going to be good enough for him to contend for a top 15. He's still in a Hendrick car, so I'm not overly concerned about it. I wish he was faster in practice, but I mean, his price point starting at 28th, he's still a solid play today. Got a donut from Carmi. I apologize. Some of these donuts don't pop up for some reason. I'm not sure why. And I feel bad after I see it after 30 minutes. So, again, if I don't see your donut, I apologize. I don't know why only half of them pop up sometimes. But I'm definitely not ignoring them on purpose, I promise. I always feel bad when I see that. But I do appreciate the donut, Carmi. Let's see. Yeah, Barry says, whoa, nice Brian. Yeah, that was awesome. Definitely was. Casey says, are you fading Kyle Busch? Brian, you're a legend. Yes, he is. Yeah, I'm fading Kyle Busch today. I don't think he's going to have that top 5 speed, which is what he's going to need at nearly $10,000. So I feel pretty comfortable being underweight. Like, he didn't show bad speed for being a Toyota, but I just can't see him having top 5 speed or race winning speed today. What do I feel about Ty Gibbs in the 45 car today? I'm not expecting much. Again, he's a good road course racer. I think in the future he's obviously going to be great. He's got the name pedigree. He's going to be in a JGR car. The future's, I mean, the upside is obviously extremely high for him. But for today's race, I'm not expecting much. He was P30 in the 1 lap in practice, P24 in the 5 lap, starting in 26. I think he can contend for a top 25, but I'd rather play Keselowski. I'd rather play Austin Dillon at similar price points. So not huge on him. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, see if I missed any donos anymore. I don't think I did. Okay. Just got to make sure. Some water. Mad Dog says, I got Dinger, Chastain, Cinder, Keselowski, Suarez, and Joey Hand in tournaments. What do you think? So let's see. Up top, we got Chastain, Suarez. I like that a lot. You got the Trackhouse stack there. Cindric, I'm assuming, is like a potential winner. That's fine. Dinger, Keselowski. Yeah, I think that's fine for tournaments for sure. All guys I'm looking to target today. Yes, thank you for the TV stand. Yeah, I'll have to order that when I get off of here. But yeah, that's pretty cool. What's up, Pedro? Yeah, I've seen you in a while. I always see your Instagram stories. He's always traveling everywhere. Always traveling. What do you think we should be leaving on the money table? Money wise today? I think anywhere from 1,000 or a couple of thousand is fine. We've seen at the road courses this year, it's ranged from I think 1,000 on the table to $3,900 as far as the optimal is. So I think anywhere. I mean, you can use all your salary if you want, but I think if you leave money on the table today, even 1,000, it's fine. Way we've seen road courses play out. Appreciate it, Kenny. Appreciate it. Eric says, Jules, you need to check out the store at home. It's the best store ever. Leave Chris at home, though. Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to Eric. He actually is the one that showed me the TV stand I like, so it looks pretty cool. But yeah, gonna get me in trouble telling her about those stores. He's never gonna come back home. What's up, Don? I'm here late. Thanks for being there. Yeah, thank you for showing up. Better late than never. That's for sure. Sean says $200 super chat. I'm in the wrong business. Yeah, I should not the heat, man. That's awesome. Jalen says fade play 7K and under. 7K and under. If it's cash, it's Austin Dillon. If it's tournaments, Brad Keselowski there. But those are definitely my two favorite in that range. Appreciate it. Carmi Jared says GPP. Oh wait, missed the question here. Michael says Larson, Chastain, Austin Dillon, Buscher, McDowell, Bowman for single entry GPP on DraftKings. Hope you get over the COVID soon. I had version 1.0 back in 2020. Good luck to everyone today. Yeah, I think I did too, Michael. I think it was before we all knew about it too, and it wasn't a fun time. But yeah, anyway, your lineup. Appreciate it, by the way. Larson, Chastain, I like Dillon. But yeah, I think that's fine for a tournament. I like the Buscher McDowell there in the middle. Instead of getting to like a Stenhouse and Eric Jones, I like those guys as pivots for sure. So I think it's a pretty good looking lineup. Jared says GPP, Chastain, Larson, Dinger, Buscher, Haley, Keselowski. Yeah, I liked it a lot. Buscher, Haley, and Keselowski are excellent tournament plays today. Looks very good. Casey says, when's the CP Weekly podcast coming out? I don't know about a podcast. Maybe eventually one day, but I like the YouTube side of things more. I don't even know if I know how to set up a podcast. I don't even know what I talk about, unless it's just NASCAR. But who knows? Maybe one day in the future. Charles says Joey Hand. Yeah, I like Hand today. Not on FanDuel because you don't really need to go that low, but on DraftKings, I think Hand's a fine play. The only thing that sucks is the equipment he's in, but top 20 speeds in practice. If the car holds together, I don't think it's bad. Sarugi says thoughts on FanDuel GPP, Chastain, Larson, Dillon, assuming it's Austin, Dinger, and Stenhouse. I worry about Stenhouse on FanDuel just because finishing position is weighted a little bit heavier, and I don't really see Stenhouse being a top 15 guy, so I might kind of shy away from Stenhouse over there. The rest isn't bad, though. Rest isn't bad. T-Water says refund of top 10 is wrong. It's definitely going to be wrong. It's definitely going to be wrong. Yeah, I don't really see him. Yeah, F1 experience for sure in the road course, but I don't think the equipment's going to be good enough for him today to really make too much of a splash. No problem, LA. I know it's kind of a bit of a jumbled answer, but there's just so much to say as far as strategy is concerned. Sean says, higher owned Blinny or Suarez. I think Suarez comes in higher owned today. A little bit more PD, and he's just been so good at the road courses. Ugh. No problem at all, Obi. You're welcome. Any thoughts on Byron and Bowman, says Manny C. Yeah, both solid plays today. I'm gonna get to more Bowman than Byron just because of the price discount there. Because I'd rather get to more, I think, Kevin Harvick, or maybe not Harvick, but I have a lot of Dinger in the 8K range. And then I'm kind of top heavy on Suarez, Larson, and Chastain up top, so I can't get to as much Byron as maybe I want to. But both are good plays today. Tevin says, is Harvick a good play for PD? Yeah, Harvick's a fine play in tournaments. I don't like him as much as Dinger, but he's going to be lower owned, and he should be solid today. I should probably go through these questions a little bit quicker. Ryan says, Blaney, Cindric, or Suarez for the W? Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all. Check says, why are you going to the pool if you have COVID? Because I'm outside. Let's see. The Travis Miller says, I think I've got a winner for DraftKings. Ross, Suarez, Blaney, Dinger, Austin Dillon, and Stenhouse. Yeah, that looks pretty solid. I like the two Trackhouse cars up top. I like Blaney, Dinger, Austin. Yeah, it's a good line. I'm kind of surprised it fits, but it definitely looks pretty good. Spread says, hey, Clint. Oh yeah. I'll have to check some of those pictures out if you sent some. I don't know anything about UFC, so I'm not even going to try. Reaper Creeper says, Chastain, Larson, Keselowski, Harvick, and Legato. Let's see. Sounds good for a cash game. I wouldn't go there in cash. Chastain, Larson, yes. Harvick's iffy for cash, but I wouldn't go Keselowski and Legato for cash today, personally. Kind of risky there. The money says Austin Dillon and Brad or Buscher and Haley. I'll go with the first option there, Austin Dillon and Brad. Blake says I gotta ask at least once. Who would you pick to win today? I'd probably take Ross. I mean, it's not gonna agree my projections, but I'll take Ross to win. I'll just take it. I mean, Trackhouse has been so good at the road courses. Is he gonna win? Probably not. But I mean, picking a winner today, it's wide open. This would be a very tough race to bet on as far as trying to get a winner out of it. Better finish, Dinger, Suarez, or McDowell? I would have to go with Suarez there. He's been the second fastest car at the road courses. Kyle says a 7 like. Dang, I appreciate it, Kyle. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Jack says, I'm not a NASCAR DFS vet, and this question could come off dumb. But if a driver like Chase or even Larson / Chastain fail inspection, is it an instant fade? You said it's hard to pass cars in this race. You mean so if they like drop to the rear to start this race, like Almirola? If a guy like that drops to the rear to road course, I probably wouldn't be too upset. More so Larson, Chastain, because they're already starting mid-pack, so they don't have as much to overcome because they're already. It's not like they're losing a P8 starting spot. P21, P22 is a little bit easier there. If Chase went to the rear, I'd be a little bit more upset about, but it's it's not a dumb question either. It's certainly, it depends on the track. Like if this was Pocono, I obviously wouldn't care at all. Road course, it makes things a little bit more difficult, but if it's Ross or Larson, I don't really care that much. Joe says, hey Chris, for cash, what's up Joe? Chastain, Suarez, Dinger, and I'm not going to go Suarez and cash today personally, but I would try to get Bowman in there. Stenhouse is a good cash play. Austin Dillon, those kind of guys. Obviously Larson as well. Cal says, can we fade Stenhouse? We can. I mean, if you're playing cash, I wouldn't, but if you're playing tournaments, you don't have to play Stenhouse. I mean, there's many other good plays down low. Many other good plays. Let's see. Jet says, thoughts on Kyle Busch? How low to the field would you be? I'm not a huge fan of the Toyotas in general today outside of Christopher Bell. He looks like the one guy you can play. But as far as Kyle Busch is concerned, I'll probably have like 5%. If that. I might just full fade him. I don't really like the JGR cars much. You're welcome, Max. Larson and Buescher or Dinger and Suarez? Oh, that's a tough question there. I think I'll go Dinger and Suarez. Yeah, for single entry. Yeah, I think that's the route I'd go. Tito says, I still think my $5 is better than the $200, but that's just me. Your quote was worth about $500, I think. So, I mean, it was an excellent quote. Mad Dog says, I got Bell, Chastain, Keselowski, Larson, McDowell, but can't decide Austin Dillon or Justin Haley in tournaments. I mean, if you're going tournaments, I mean, Justin Haley, I like his upside, but Austin Dillon projects better for me. And you already got some lower owned guys in there, so I might just roll with Austin Dillon there. Jeremy says, top 3 most owned drivers today. I think I have the projected highest owned guys as Bowman, Chastain, and Dinger. 3 eyes today. Oh yeah, I forgot about the new contest. If you're just not getting here, I'm not going to last too much longer. But we do have a second contest open, and that now has 100 people in it. So we get 50 more spots, about a little over 2 hours until lock. So if you want to get in, recommend doing that. We got about 350 people here. To appreciate everyone stopping by today. New to NASCAR, let's get it. Awesome, David. Hopefully it goes well for you today. David says, any penalized teams yet? Starting to the rear. Almirola is going to the rear today. And then Cody Ware. That's all I've seen so far. Cal says, Cole Custer. Not a bad play necessarily. Wish he showed me some more speed in practice, but he actually has not been that bad at the road courses this year. So he's interesting in tournaments. He also says Heat Stono is more than I've won all year in DK. That's funny. Jack says, not NASCAR related question, but is COVID different than any flu you've had? It's probably more mild than that for sure. I don't really get sick often, which I've been sick the past 2 weeks, but I would say it's definitely not that bad. I mean, you barely notice it outside of a stuffy nose. Pete says, is Chase not the reigning king of short tracks and cup? Has that changed because I'm not hearing his name much here? Do you mean short tracks or road courses? Because it's a little different there. But yeah, I mean, Chase is obviously the best at road courses overall. He's about first or second in every single loop data statistic at a road course this year. But I do think some guys have caught up so far in the next gen car where Chase isn't like the absolute most locked play. Because I mean, if Chase was starting P at a road course last year, we're probably just locking him in. Guys have definitely caught up a bit, but if I had to rank guys on road courses, Chase is definitely the class of the field in my opinion. But you have guys like Ross and Larson and Reddick, even other guys that can definitely compete week in, week out. Daniel Suarez. But the reason you're not hearing about him so much this week is because of, right below him you have Chastain starting at 21st, and then you have Larson in 22nd. Carmi says my single entry is Ross, Suarez, Dinger, Buscher, and Austin Dillon. I think that's pretty good. Is that a Fanduel lineup? Because I'm only seeing 5 drivers. Sarugi W says, is better for Fanduel GPP, Larson, Chastain, Harvick, Bowman, McDowell. Yeah, it looks pretty good for a Fanduel tournament. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Kelsey says, out of the 3, which one do you have the most exposure to? Reddick, Cindric, and Briscoe. I think I have the most is Cindric. Yeah, pretty sure it's Cindric. JW says, picks to win the race. I'll go with Larson or Chastain. I mean, picking a winner today is just about as impossible because it's so wide open. But you get a discount on the odds because of where they're starting for Chastain and Larson, so I'll just roll with those 2. But picking a winner today would seem very rough. Taylor says, how many thoughts on Eric Jones? Yeah, I got some thoughts on Eric Jones today. They're not that great. I mean, starting in 35th, he's going to be high owned, but I mean, he was P35 in practice. In the past 2 road courses, he's been so slow. I mean, 26th at Road America, and he was lucky to get a 22nd place at Sonoma. We had all of JGR Pitt at the end and a couple other guys, which kind of inflated that number, but I'm not expecting much out of Jones. Andrew says, thoughts on Keselowski and McDowell and GPP? Like them both quite a bit. Like them both. I'm going to have exposure to both those guys in tournaments. Yeah. See, Austin says, Ty Dillon or Recchi? I'll still go with Recchi there. Clint says, still 50 spots left in the second contest? Yeah, hopefully we can fill that up. I mean, I think we're on pace to potentially do that, so hopefully we can do that. Jeremy says, Elliott, Kyle Busch, Suarez, Jones, Austin Dillon, and Recchi for GPP. I'm not personally going to go the Kyle Busch route today, but everybody else is viable. I think if you're playing tournaments, though, I don't think I'd roster Jones in a tournament. He's going to be high owned, and he's slow. Brett says, what do you think about Eric Jones and GPP? Hopefully that answered your question for the last. If you're playing Jones, the only way I'm doing it is a cash game today. For tournaments, I think there's definitely way better places to go to. Try to get away from a higher owned guy that obviously he's going to pick up ownership that just didn't really show much speed. Manny says, for me, COVID was body aches and a fever. Yeah, had a little bit of fever for like a few hours, but outside of that, it got better. So, 3 days and done, thankfully. Yeah, it's not too bad in my experience so far. Hunter says your picks are about as good as Ferrari's strategy. Do we have to fight an hour and a half in, Hunter? Vinny says, any Byron today? Yeah, I'll play some Byron. I'm not going to play as much Byron as a guy like Dinger, but I still got to play some of them. I mean, he's a good road course racer, but I do worry about the speed, and his hauler did catch on fire, so obviously I don't think it affected the car, but I'm not sure if that's a bad omen for this weekend. Thought I had COVID once, but it was just a hangover. Koogman says, how do we get into the contest? On Twitter, or there's a link in here somewhere, but someone should be able to direct you there. Thank you, Carmi. You do appreciate the dono today. Appreciate all the donuts from everybody. What's up, brother Chris? You're lucky. I'm just about to get out of here. Glad you could stop by. 3rd place last weekend. Hopefully get another win real soon. Yeah, hopefully. Glad you can make it in today. Sergey says, probably should have asked this right away about Fanduel. Any core plays? I like Chastain and Suarez a lot over on Fanduel. I also like Kevin Harvick quite a bit, his price point. So guys I'm getting to a lot of. Sorry if I'm ripping through these, but I got awesome on about 45 minutes. So gotta save my voice a little bit. Let's see. Joe says, in big GPPs, could you play both Chastain and Larson together? You certainly can. Just find other ways to get different throughout the rest of your lineup. So try to avoid guys like Jones and Stenhouse and maybe a Bowman that are going to be massive chalk. Blake says, how would you feel about Reddick and Bell in the same lineup? I don't think I would do that personally. I'd probably pick one of the other. It's not the worst thing you can do, but if it's a single entry, I think it's just a bit aggressive. Jonathan says, best 5 to 4K play. Appreciate that, Jonathan. As far as your best 5 to 4K play, it doesn't exist. If you mean anybody in the 5K range, though, Joey Hand's the one I'd get to the most of. Let's see. 7,100 left on DK. Would you plug in for a single tournament? I'd probably go Keselowski or Austin Dillon. Keselowski or Austin Dillon. Good luck to you as well, Travis. So who do you replace for Jones? Probably Kess or Dillon. Jeremy says, I'm thinking Kyle Busch because he'd be lower owned due to the fact of who's around him. Yeah, he'll be lower owned, but at the same time, like the Toyotas are just really slow at the road courses, so I'd rather try to get a lower owned fast guy, if that makes sense. Like, he could surprise us, sure, but they just have not been good. I'm not really willing to go against those trends. Rick says, smash the like button. Yeah, smash it on the way out. I'm about to get out of here, so does help me out. DK just released a salary for the first week of NFL. When do you plan on doing football again? Probably just when week 1 starts. I don't think I'm going to do as much football content as I did last year where I posted every single day, but I'll definitely do a couple of videos a week. So we can plan on that. Core plays video and then probably just a video wrapping up the entire slate, stuff like that. I'm not sure I'll do an every single day thing because I think that gets a bit much and burns you out, which is kind of the reason I'm not doing the baseball videos every day. It just burns you out and I don't enjoy it. But I enjoy the NASCAR stuff every weekend. It's super fun for me. Oh yeah, I always call stochastic awesome. It's so hard not to. Devin says, if you had to pick one at the top, Elliott, Chastain, or Larson, I think about Chalky at the bottom. I'd still go with Chastain there. I think he's the better overall play. Yep, thank you for modding for me today, Andy. Appreciate my wrenchman. Yeah, see you in Discord, Rickster. Brett says, 3 drivers in the top 12, too many today for GPP. No, but you're pushing it, but I think it's okay. It would depend on which ones you have, but if it's like McDowell, Chase, Bell, maybe he's kind of pushing it, to be honest. Sergey says, anyone at 4K or less for Fanduel worth playing? No, not on Fanduel. You don't need those guys over on Fanduel. Joe says, with playing both Chastain and Larson, do you think you need to get a driver within the top 12? You can certainly do that if you want to roster like a guy like McDowell, but I mean, you don't absolutely have to. But I'll definitely have lineups that do that. Sorry. Losing voices, getting a little rough here. Card says, need a last driver for DK Cash. Got 8,700 left. Thanks a lot. For Cash, I would go with Dinger there. I would go with Dinger. I like Blinny today. I'm probably going to have to get out of here, guys. I got to save my voice for the Stochastic show. I do appreciate everyone stopping by today. It was a very fun stream. I think we got like 350 people here at one point. A lot of donos. Do appreciate those. Let me just answer these really quick. Dinger for the one question. Yes, I like Blinny in tournaments. Fanduel YouTube contests. Not sure how many people would like that, but if there's demand for it, I could maybe run a small one. So I'll keep that in mind for next week. Thank you for throwing the link out there, Andy. Roshan says, I would not play Josh Williams today, Roshan. I would try to find a way to get away from that. Yes, like button, Clint. Thank you very much. Blake would go with Stennis for cash, Haley for tournaments would be the answer. Jack says, great stream. Thanks, Chris. Get well soon. Appreciate you. Thank you, Jack, for stopping by today. It was always a good time. Thank you for being part of it. No problem, Blake. Over an hour and a half today. I'm going to cut this off. Thanks for all the donos. Leave a like on your way out. Appreciate y'all being here. You make it fun for me. See you over on Stochastic in about an hour if you want to join and hang out with me over there. But I got some lineups to build, and I'll see y'all next time. Thank you.